Most of us will remember plastering our bedroom walls with posters of our favourite singers. But my next guest took his teenage infatuation to the extreme. When Sarfraz Manzoor first heard Bruce Springsteen's music, it completely changed his life growing up in Luton. And his love affair with the boss is now hitting cinemas for all to see. And of course, the inspiration behind all of that is Sarfraz Manzoor, and he is here now. It must be the weirdest feeling. All of us talking about your life.
It's very weird. It's very weird because, like, we literally, my daughter, who's like nearly 8 now, is going around London being photographed in front of posters for the film and spotting buses and things like that. I mean, it's a bit of an out-of-body experience because you live, especially the thing is, if you live your life like, you know, in Luton at the age of 16, writing poems and thinking that nobody's ever going to hear you, and suddenly everyone is discussing it and your poems are actually in the film. It's kind of crazy.
Of course it is. And this is what it's about. It's about you growing up in Luton.
I was, in 1987, like, a lot of the music I was listening to was the Pet Shop Boys and Mars and Madonna and stuff like that, which is all great, but it's not really about anything. And then Springsteen's talking about growing up in dead-end towns. He's talking about relationships between your parents. He's talking about trying to make your dreams come true. And I was just like, this guy's got some wisdom, you know? It's like, and if you don't have, like, an older brother or sibling who's kind of cool, who can introduce you to good things or whatever, I just thought, if I could listen to Bruce, maybe I could do some of the things he's done, because he's grown up in a dead-end town. He's managed to get out. His dad works in a factory. So I kind of made it made it to my thing that maybe Springsteen had the wisdom to take me to the promised land.
Yeah, exactly. And I love the fact you tried to bring in these links, shall we say, and your birthday's 9th of June, isn't it? And he signed a big contract on the 9th of June. So suddenly there's all these little things that you believe it was just aligned in the stars.
And you know, like, the very first job I ever got in media was on the 23rd of September, which is his birthday. And his dad was a bus driver and I used to go on the bus. So there were lots of things which I just thought were like really eerie parallels.
He's speaking to you all of the time. But obviously you went on to be a writer, which you had dreamt of being, and a journalist, working for a big newspaper, but lost your job at that point.
Yeah.
And you thought, hang on, what am I going to do next? And this is how the movie really began, wasn't it? Yeah. Thankfully, you were friends with the director of Bend It Like Beckham, which does help.
Which helps. But, you know, the thing is, let's be honest, like, everybody, you know, if you go to, you know, a coffee shop, the person who's serving you is probably writing a screenplay that they think they're going to get made. Do you know what I mean? The chances of it actually getting made are so little. Yeah. I just thought, what is the point of even thinking about it? But then in 2012, the job that I had with my national newspaper, they just suddenly it just went. And I had my daughter Layla was just 1 year old, and I was just like, oh my goodness, what on earth am I going to do? Like, all the stability I had just gone. And my wife Bridget just said to me, look, if you just think of this as an opportunity rather than the catastrophe that you're currently thinking it is, why don't you try and find something positive out of it? And I thought, well, now I don't actually have to do anything for anybody. Why not just follow the dream I've always had? And that's when I started working on the script.
Yeah, and then you needed really permission from
oh my God,
Bruce.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been a silent movie otherwise.
Exactly, and that wasn't going to work. No. So the script went off and you had a sort of agonising 2 weeks waiting for a response, which actually 2 weeks is nothing in Hollywood terms, so he got back quite quickly. Yeah,
but, you know, when you're thinking that this could be the thing that changes your life, because I was literally thinking, there's a fork in the road here. One road leads to complete desperation, devastation, God knows what, and the other leads to me talking to you here.
Well, thank you.
and I was like, and Bruce is going to decide. Because without his approval, we haven't got nothing. So we sent him the script, and every day I'd be texting Gurinder, have we heard anything, have we heard anything? And then actually I was in the Hay-on-Wye Book Festival, I was in this cottage, and late at night, I get a message from Gurinder. Bruce has said he's all good with it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I wanted to run up to Bridget and sort of tell her the good news. But we'd had this really bad argument that night. I think it would be the time for taking the bins out and I'd forgotten or something like that. And she was really furious with me. And I was like, I cannot change her mood this night. And I say, by the way, I've had some really great news. So I was just like celebrating in this cottage on my own, jumping around with this secret knowledge that my life was going to change, but not able to tell her.
But you told her the next day, obviously, and it was all fine.
It was all good.
So you've been to see him about 150 times, is that right?
Which I know sounds like a lot, but if you think about it over 30 years, it's only 5 a year.
No, it's actually all right.
Not that bad. But you're from a family of Springsteen.
We love Springsteen. My mum, it's one of her, Tougher Than the Rest is her favourite song.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen, what's not to love?
I know, and do you know what's amazing is that when I was 16, me and my mate used to say, you know, we want to persuade everybody about the genius of Bruce. And obviously, at Luton Sixth Form College, there's a bit of a limited supply of of people you can do. I wrote a piece in the paper the other day. A guy literally came up to me yesterday, said, I read your piece, I've now got Springsteen on my Spotify, and I'm loving him. I was like, oh, my God, the mission is working.
Well, didn't Bradley Cooper come up to you and say how much he loved the movie?
I mean, this is the kind of crazy world I'm in. I was at the BAFTAs, and I got introduced to Bradley Cooper, which was a big deal. And he was like, man, everyone is talking about your movie. I was like, how on earth do you even know about it? Do you know what I mean? And he was like, no, that's all they're talking about in Hollywood and stuff. And I said, look, I don't normally do this, but we've got to get a photograph. He said, I'll take it. And it's just like the most ridiculous thing that a life growing up in Luton with a dad who works in a car factory and Bradley Cooper knows about it. Do you know what I mean? It's a very strange thing.
It's brilliant. I love the fact your little girl is getting it too and seeing, because there's lots of ads in the telly as well for it. It's just great. And I feel really happy for you because it's just such a big deal.
I've raised my daughter well, because every night before she goes to bed, I sing her a Springsteen song. So she knows the back catalogue.
Yeah, she's following in the footsteps, isn't she?